guys, it's me, Karen Valentine, and today I'm going to work on part 2 of this lovely Pirate Girl by Matt Davidson. Thank you for joining me again. I think today I'm going to work on the hair and the hat and feathers and stuff like that, and we'll see how far we get with that. So again, I am just going to kind of wing this, and it's not going to be perfect, but I want you to, maybe see my own process, how I do things. And so you'll see it's not going to be perfect, and it's not all set up so that it's smooth and wonderful, but we'll get through it. So yay, here we go. I am going to start on the hair. And I feel like I want her to have dark hair. Black hair has been one of the colors that I seem to really, really like because the darkness of it really stands out with all the rest of the colors on a page. So the colors that I use generally when I do black is, of course, Prismacolor black. Sometimes I use warm gray, sometimes I use cool gray. Today I think I'm going to do the 10% warm gray. And then the other one that I use is actually a Sherper Farben black. And the reason that I use this one is because it is a very warm black. And you'll see when I get going how when I start adding it in, you'll see that it adds a little bit of brown, I guess, but it's still black. If you don't have that or a pencil that gives you that really, really warm black, the espresso color, a little bit of espresso also works really nice, and it just gives the hair a little bit more dimension. So we are going to get started. I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger. I think that's good. Okay, so when I do hair, I like to work in sections. So I'm just going to get going, and we'll just see how things go. Oops, sorry. Told you it wasn't going to be perfect. I feather in the color into where I added the highlight. Now this hair is not quite as easy to determine where those highlights will go as some of the other ones, so we're just gonna wing it and see what happens. If you probably already know this, but if you get bored watching me do this in real time, you can always hit those 3 dots at the top of the video and speed it up so you can watch it a little bit faster. Shared that with my mom the other day. She didn't know that you could do that. She was very excited. She gets impatient sometimes watching YouTube videos and wants them to hurry up. So I am really curious to know if you guys like real-time videos, or if you would rather see sped up. I can't even think of what they're called. The old brain doesn't function sometimes. It doesn't give me the words that I want, but you know what I mean, like a fast sped up version of. But again, I figure if you want it faster, you can always speed it up yourself. You'll just hear me talking really fast and slow and with a high-pitched voice. I know. I'm a dork. So working in little sections really helps me give the hair dimension, so you can kind of see where to separate the strands so that it has dimension. Like, I might do that one dark. In fact, I might do all of that dark. And again, I do use a blender for the hair. I think I'll do that right now. And kind of the same, I still kind of feather the blender into the highlight. I don't really want the highlight to be white. You just want it to be lighter than the rest of the hair. Please excuse me if I sniffle a lot in this video. I noticed that I did it in the last video. But it's allergy season here in Arizona, in Phoenix, and it's just something that I have to deal with. So again, hopefully I don't do it too often. Let's see. Yeah, this hair is definitely a little bit harder to do than some. Let's see, do I want to highlight right there? I don't think so. I'll go dark. Right now I'm just using the regular Prismacolor black and the 10% warm gray. I'm going to get a little bit further and then I'll show you what adding the Sherpa Farben warm black or the espresso, depending on what you have, will look like. try and work in the direction of the hair. And having a really sharp pencil helps a lot. So I do sharpen my pencil pretty often. But the electric sharpener that I use has an auto stop, which is nice. And it loads from the top, so it's really easy to control the pressure and control how much I sharpen, so I don't lose a lot of pencil that way. Okay, let's do some blending. I glued my blender to another pencil. Boy, does that work well. Sometimes they get too short to fit into my pencil extender, so this method worked out very well. I think I'm going to show you guys what it does when I add this warm black. Hopefully you'll be able to see what the difference is on camera. It especially shows up when it goes over the highlights. I don't know, can you see a difference? I can, but I can't tell if you guys can see it or not. It's subtle. It's not huge, but it just adds a little something something. Yeah. Okay, let's keep going. I went for a walk today with my husband this morning and realized how out of shape I am. It's very sad. So hopefully we will try and fix that over the next couple of weeks while we're still, should have been doing it for the last month. Better late than never, I guess. try and put those highlights in areas where it looks like the hair is going to be sitting on top of the other hair. So this section, we're going to go dark. I feel like this part of the video is probably going to be really boring for you guys. So again, you can just fast forward it if you want to. You guys can probably hear the fan in the background. It's starting to warm up here. It always fascinates me how some parts of the country have such extremely different weather than what we have here. There's a snowstorm in Colorado right now, and other parts of the country, I'm sure. And for us here, I think it's going to be, I don't know, 85, maybe close to 90 degrees today. So I need my fan. Blender. This is the Prismacolor Blender. Between this and the Caran d'Ache Full Blender, those are my two absolute favorite blenders. And for me, they work on all the pencils that I use. blend, and then I add the dark warm black pencil. I find that it helps to give definition, because it kind of like gives strands of hair. I'm finding this hair to be quite challenging. So I know I keep saying this, but I would really love to know what you guys think and what you'd like to see in your coloring videos. So I know some people, you know, everybody's got different things that they're looking for, and I know you can't please everybody all the time, but because I'm new to all this, I really would love some feedback as far as what you'd like to see or what you don't like to see. Now be nice. But I am interested, so okay, let's do a little bit of the dark warm brown or black. Again, this is a Sherper Farben black, but you could use Prismacolor Espresso and it would do the same thing. It would probably give you even a little bit more brown, but sometimes those extra added colors just make for a more interesting picture, I think. Okay, is there anywhere here, let's zoom out a little bit, anywhere here that I think needs extra dark? Around her ear. Pretty good. Just for kicks, I'm going to see what this Caran d'Ache full blender does. It's a softer lead, for lack of a better word. You could probably tell when I was using the other one that it was that you could kind of hear the scratchiness of it. This one, when it blends, it is just creamy and wonderful. But it doesn't hold as sharp of a point as the Prismacolor one does. So the Prismacolor blender is really nice for teeny tiny details, but this is nice when you're doing bigger areas. Yes, good. I think I like the way that looks. Let's see if we can, oh, there we go. There's the hair. Okay, so I'm going to stop the video now. I'll start it up again, and if there's time, we'll work on the hat. Okay, I'm back. I think we'll go ahead and work on the hat. It might be kind of a longish video, but you know, sometimes you just got to go for it. So on the hat, it looks to me like this is a straw hat. And a lot of the times I will get online and use pictures to, get light reflection, use pictures to, as inspiration. So if I Google straw pirate hat, you get a lot of good choices. I don't know if I like the stripiness of that one. That's a good color. Okay, so I will set that aside. And this is my color chart. It's in a flexible folder, and I've printed out the squares, and I have all of my brands of pencils and all of the colors all in here. And it is, I would be lost without my color charts. I like big swatches. It makes it a lot easier to choose my color and imagine what different colors will look like in my picture. So for this one, I think I'm going to pull out Beige Sienna. $105. This is how I keep all my pencils. And I've numbered them all different than what the numbers are on the pencil, because the numbers on the pencils are all kind of random to me and don't make any sense. So I put them in order and I gave them all my own number, and it makes it super easy for me to find the pencil that I'm looking for. So I think I'm going to try Beige Sienna. That's 1080, Prismacolor 1080. And what other color do I want to try? Maybe Espresso is one. Let's see, Espresso. That might be too dark, so let's try dark brown. And we'll give those a shot. Now, another thing I do is I will just, on a regular piece of copy paper, print out a second page sometimes, so that I can kind of test my colors and see if it's the colors that I want. And I just prefer to do it on the actual image as opposed to just scratching the color on a piece of paper to see if that's what I want. It just, again, it helps me to visualize if that's really what I want to do. So I think we'll throw a little bit of white down just in some of these areas that I think might be a little more highlighted. And let's see what this Beige Sienna looks like as far as for a straw hat. That's a pretty good color. I think I like that. And then the Espresso. Yep, I think that's what we're going to do. Okay. Putting the white down first, even though you really can't see it, it helps to prevent the color from going into the paper. And I don't know, I mean, it's still, you can still cover up the white with the color, but it's definitely lighter, especially if you use a light touch, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm going really, oh, I really like that. I'm going really lightly. Should we go in a little bit? What's that? Here's another question for you. I definitely tend to turn my pages when I work. So let me know if that bothers you, looking at the paper from, you know, not straight up and down. And I will try and work differently. If it doesn't bother you, then yay. That's good. Okay, now I'm going to come in and do another layer and darken any areas that I think were too light. Okay. This is espresso. It's one of my favorite browns. Definitely have to use a light hand. when you're using those dark colors, because they really show up dark if you press down too hard. Again, on this hat, I'm using beige sienna, espresso, and white. Oh, look, there's a little piece of her hair. Oh, and I think that's a piece of her hair, too. I'm going to have to fix that. I like that. I'm debating on whether I want to go darker or not. It's quite a bit lighter than my inspiration picture, but really I kind of just pulled that up so that I could kind of confirm the color that I wanted to start with or check out. So you don't always have to use the inspiration picture. Sometimes it just gives you a little kickstart. Oh, let's see, that's getting better. I like the dark. Oh yeah, definitely more dark. Really, really light hand. Building up the layers. Blender. And it just smooths everything. And I find that it just really also makes the colors more vibrant. I've heard some people say that when they use the blender, they feel like the colors get dull. And I don't understand why that would be, because that's never been my experience. The only thing that I can think of is that maybe there's not enough color down on the page before they start blending. I don't know. So my experience has been that it makes it more vibrant. But again, everybody's experiences are different. I think paper also has a big part to play in how the pencils perform. I have two different papers that I love to print on, and I actually went out and bought a new printer because I was getting tired of taking my pages out to be printed, because I prefer a heavy cardstock. So when I print my pages, they get printed on either Strathmore Bristol smooth paper, which is wonderful, and it can take so many different mediums. I can use wet media on it as well as any pencil or marker. Not that I use markers very much. That is one skill that I have not developed. And then the other paper that I discovered that I really, really like is by Recollections from Michaels, and it's like 100-pound cardstock. Actually, I think it's a little more than 100-pound. I'll have to try and remember to put that in the description. Okay, that stray hair is just driving me crazy. I gotta fix that. So let me fix those up really quick. Hair, 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 hair. I'm pretty sure that's hair. I don't think it's the scarf that's around her head. It looks like the hair. So that's what we're calling it. That's definitely hair. Okay. I think I like that. Did I miss anything? Looks like maybe just a teeny bit right there. Alrighty, I guess I will finish for today, because we're already at about an hour. So I will. I'll keep working on it on the next part. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, putting up with my weirdness, and hopefully I will see you back for part 3. Thanks. Take care.